Genesis 35 is a chapter of returning, back to the place of first encounter, back to worship, back to the God who keeps covenant through joy and sorrow. After the turmoil at Shechem, God said to Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there. Make an altar to the God who appeared to you when you fled from Esau." The answer to fear was not a sword, but obedience and worship. Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Put away the foreign gods that are among you. Purify yourselves and change your garments. Then let us arise and go up to Bethel, that I may make there an altar to the God who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me wherever I have gone." They gave Jacob all the foreign gods and the rings that were in their ears, and Jacob hid them, buried them under the oak near Shechem. Consecration before ascent. Idols in the ground, hearts set on God. As they journeyed, the terror of God fell upon the surrounding cities, so none pursued the sons of Jacob. It was God, not Jacob's cleverness, who shielded them. Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan, he and all the people with him. There he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, God of the house of God, for there God had revealed himself to him when he fled from Esau. A sorrow marked that holy place. Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died and was buried under an oak below Bethel. Jacob named it Allon Bakuth, the oak of weeping. Even in obedience tears fall, yet the God who calls also comforts. God appeared to Jacob again when he came from Paddan Aram and blessed him. God said, "Your name is Jacob. No longer shall your name be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name." He reaffirmed the new identity he had spoken in the night of wrestling. And God said, "I am God Almighty, El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall come from you, and kings shall spring from your body. The land that I gave to Abraham and Isaac I give to you, and I will give the land to your offspring after you." Then God went up from him in the place where he had spoken. Jacob set up a pillar at the place where God had talked with him, a pillar of stone. He poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. He called the place Bethel, house of God. Worship seals the word. They journeyed on from Bethel, and when they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel went into hard labor, severe, life-threatening labor. In her travail, the midwife said, "Do not fear, for you have another son." As her soul was departing, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Oni, son of my sorrow. But his father called him Benjamin, son of my right hand. Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a pillar over her tomb, the pillar of Rachel's grave, which stood as a witness. Promise advances through pain. Blessing and bereavement share the same road. Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond the Tower of Ader. There another wound. Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. The deed would not be forgotten. One day it would cost Reuben the firstborn's place. Sin always has a future, unless God intervenes with discipline and mercy. The sons of Jacob, 12, are named here, the foundation of a nation. Sons of Leah, Reuben, firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. Sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. Sons of Bilhah, Rachel's servant, Dan and Naphtali. Sons of Zilpah, Leah's servant, Gad and Asher. 12 names, many stories, one covenant thread. Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had lived. Isaac lived 180 years. He breathed his last and died, gathered to his people, old and full of days. Esau and Jacob, once enemies, buried their father together. Grief closed the generation. God's promise moved to the next. Genesis 35 teaches us to return and to remove. Return to Bethel, return to the altar, the word, the presence. Remove the idols, bury what competes with God. Receive again the name He has spoken, the covenant He has sworn, and walk on, knowing that El Shaddai keeps His promises in seasons of weeping and in seasons of joy. Consecration before ascent, worship before warfare, promise in the midst of pain. The God who met Jacob at Bethel is the God who meets us on the road, calling us by a new name and keeping us by an everlasting word. Next comes Genesis 36 at the generations of Esau, Edom, chiefs, clans, and kings who rose in Seir before any king reigned in Israel. While Jacob's line waits on promise, Esau's line grows in power. The contrast sets the stage for how God's covenant people will be shaped, not by speed or status, but by the slow fidelity of God's promise.